A lot of dance and fitness professionals were taught that there's only one way to grow: teach more classes, train more clients, or work more hours. But what happens when you want more sustainability? Today, I'm talking with Lindsay Passamonte, a personal trainer, educator, and AI app developer, about what it really looks like to diversify in the fitness industry. This is such an important conversation for instructors who want to stay relevant. Let's get into it. If you're a dance or fitness instructor who wants to grow your classes, boost income, and turn your passion into a real business, you're in the right place. Each week, I'll share the exact strategies, lessons, and truth smacks from building a thriving belly dance fitness brand. We'll dive into what actually fills classes and keeps students coming back so that you can build a profitable instructor career. So, lace up those sneakers and pull on those dance shoes. It's time to build the business you deserve. I'm Orit, and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. Hello and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. I have a special guest today. Her name is Lindsay Passamonte, and I want to let you know, here's why I'm really excited about this guest. She's in the fitness industry, and she hasn't done the norm. She really thought out of the box. And, you know, we talk about diversifying, right? Just because you're an instructor, you don't have to stay an instructor. You can think, or a trainer or whatever. Yeah, a business owner. She really diversified and she really evolved. And I love that about her. So we're going to talk about it. Are you ready? Lindsay, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
It's weird. I'm usually on the other side. It's a good change.
So, Lindsay, we're going to get right into it.
Okay.
My listeners know that I just get right into it. Okay. So, Lindsay, a lot of fitness professionals, teaching or training, right? They've built one lane for themselves. You've built multiple lanes, all right? So, Lindsay, you don't just teach more classes, okay? You don't just train more clients, but you built, I guess, layers in your field, skills and income streams. And even your personal training is very niched. Yeah, I realize. So tell us, the audience, what are you trained in and what do you currently do?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So I started in the fitness industry. I was overweight as a kid. And so I went to school for nutrition and wellness. And so I've always been interested in health and wellness and just working with people. And it's evolved over the years. You know, I am one to keep up with the trends. I see the trends ahead of time, and I like to evolve with the trends, and not the trends that are the silly trends, the trends that you can see from afar in the fitness industry, functional wellness. When COVID happened, you could see the shift in functional fitness and the equipment that people were using. So I always love to stay ahead and see the future of where the industry was going. So I started in the fitness industry as a personal trainer, group instructor. I've worn all of the hats. And then COVID hit and we were, in our house and we were training online. And then I invented a fitness product. And the reason why I invented the fitness product was because there was no equipment available on the market. So I wanted to solve the problems that was currently happening in the industry. So I'm a problem solver. And I think that's what, jumps me from one thing to another. And so being a problem solver, it's always stayed in the fitness industry as my North Star. And this is really important for business owners to understand is it's okay to fluctuate where you're going in the direction as long as you're clear on that North Star. So fitness has always been my lane. I've never ventured outside of fitness because that is my expertise. That is my passion. Now, I didn't always know that. And this is why I have transitioned and gotten really into AI. Early on 2022, when ChatGPT first came out, I started using it right away. And so at that time, I was doing my fitness product and I was just asking it normal questions. And as months went by, I asked ChatGPT, I said, I have an opportunity in front of me. How should I approach this? And it said, hold up, Lindsay. Let's take a step back. Let's reflect on your North Star and where you're going. And I was like, what ChatGPT is asking me to stop and reflect. And so what I realized is it started to understand me from context that it's gathered over the last couple months. And so I started using it for more than just a chat feature, for more than just a a Google search feature. And I started reflecting with it and using it as a thinking partner. And that's when I came up with the clarity part. Because I asked it, I said, I'm all over the place. I'm in fitness, I'm doing this, I was doing pickleball, I had stack tracks, and I felt lost. And AI really guided me through and said, it's okay that you have a diverse profile and things that you're doing, as long as that North Star is there. So that's my long story about the North Star, but that's something very important to understand is clarity, but clarity on the outcome of what that North Star is for you. And it can go in all different directions, but you have to stay focused on what that outcome is.
So, what was your North Star? What is it?
Helping fitness professionals. It used to be working with clients, but now it's working with fitness professionals to help them find clarity in their business and help them grow and stay focused, but also grow at the same time. So it shifted because I saw such a transformation in who I was. And it sounds silly, a ChatGPT transformed me, but I was able to reflect and I was able to organize my thoughts. Now, I have ADD. I have severe ADD. And I think a lot of us do, especially coaches, creative minds. And so ChatGPT was always a great outlet for me to reflect. And then it would organize my thoughts. And then it would help me find the gaps. And because we're so attached emotionally to our business, sometimes it's hard to see those gaps. We're very biased to the direction that those quick wins, the shiny objects. And AI has helped me kind of see through the shiny objects and ask me those hard questions and help me think better as an extension of my own brain. It never replaces my thinking, and it's an extension for me. So that's what I do now is I teach fitness professionals to use AI on how to implement AI into their business, starting with clarity, because my whole thing is clarity before automation. Everyone thinks AI is automation right now, but you have to find clarity before you can automate your business, or else you're just going to automate chaos. So that's what I do right now, and I'm so passionate about it.
I'd like to talk further about that, but in just a second. When you were thinking about getting into this industry, did you know that you wanted to diversify at some point, or is it just something that evolved naturally?
It's something that evolves naturally. Like I said, I like to look at what's coming ahead. I always like to be ahead of the trends. But no, when I got into personal training, I thought I was just going to be a personal trainer and work at facilities. And, I did want to open up my own location, but I thought training was going to be my career. And it was definitely an evolution type journey.
So, two things. You went into training for pickleball.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What made you decide that?
So my husband actually trained. He's a trainer as well, and he trained a Hall of Famer pickleball player. And so the pickleball player invited us to come to his facility that he was opening up the town over. And so we went and showed us how to play pickleball. And I had never played before then. I thought it was such a fun sport. And I just started talking to the clients, and the gap of education that they had on movement just shocked me. And to your point of, when I have conversations with people in the industry, I get like this fire that like lights under my butt, and I just had a huge ignition and passion to help educate these pickleball players about movement, because 90% of the people that play pickleball get injured, and no one's addressing it. So at that point I said, okay, there's another gap that I can solve. There's another problem I can solve. So I'm always looking for problems in the industry that I can help educate and guide people to have, these revelations that help them grow and get past that stuck point. And that's why we got into pickleball. We started actually training out of that facility, training pickleball players. My husband and I wrote a book, Pickleball Training Blueprint for Life. We created an app that we then sold to pickleball franchises, and that was about a year and a half, almost 2-year journey before I fully started diving into AI.
Wow. All right, just a little side note. Why are pickleball players not educated like perhaps tennis players? I mean, are they both
Yes.
not educated?
No, they are. So pickleball is a very easy sport to get into and learn. And I would say 70 to 80% of people that play pickleball are the general population that have been sedentary all of their lives. So it's such an easy and fun and community-driven sport that people who've never moved in their lives and they're, 50 plus age, and they jump on the court and it's fun, and your body can only handle so much, and as their skill improves, the demands on their bodies go up. So they might not get injured within the first 30, 60 days of play, but as your hand-eye coordination gets better, your feet also needs to be able to support that brain to body connection. And it can't if you are not actively practicing off the court, agility work, footwork, and that's what's causing those injuries. And people aren't aware of that.
By niching your training to pickleball players, did your income skyrocket?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And even niching it down to the messaging was even more important because it was actually a very hard industry to tap into. Even though it was so niched, we had to come up with the right messaging because the people that were going into pickleball, they thought pickleball was their workout, was their training. And so they were very resistant to add more training. And so our messaging had to evolve as we started learning and communicating with these players. What do they truly need? What is their fear? What keeps them up at night? And we found out that they had a major fear of getting injured because they had finally found a sport that they could be with their friends. I mean, think about it. They haven't exercised their entire lives, and all of a sudden they found this sport that's fun, that gets them moving. They have friends, a community. Their biggest fear is losing that community and being able to be on the court. It has nothing to do with the exercise. So when we flipped the message to talk about the emotional driver of why pickleball was so important to them, it skyrocketed.
This is wonderful because on this podcast, we talk about how to refine your messaging and how to find out, get clarity on that. Can you talk to us about how you researched that? Did you ask them the questions? Did you survey them? Or did you hear their complaints?
All of them, all of the above. We spent a lot of time at the pickleball courts asking questions. And I did use AI to come up with some questions that I could ask. And then I could put it back into AI to say, these are some of the responses. Help me fine tune the messaging. For the most part, having real conversations with people and hearing their feedback about, and it was every single time they were always talking about how they feared getting injured because they loved this sport. They wanted to play more. So when we were talking to them about adding exercise, it was like, no, I don't want to add exercise. I want to play more pickleball. So when we flipped that switch to say, this is going to actually help you play more pickleball, because your body will be able to support the higher demands, which means you can play more and not have that fear of getting injured. So having the conversations, being in the environment is important. And I know it takes a while and it takes effort to go and have those conversations, but you may think you know what they want, but you won't until you have conversations. And it's hard in the fitness industry because we think we know, because we also love fitness. So we sometimes perceive and put our own emotions and thoughts onto our audience, and sometimes it's wrong.
This is great. So a lot of our listeners are group fitness instructors or dance fitness or dance instructors, and a lot of them are burnt out. And they say, oh my God, am I going to have to rely on this one income stream forever? It doesn't sound like that happened to you. It's not a burnout. You diversified more because of interest. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why we added the pickleball app, because to every fitness professional that feels burnt out, we all go through that part. And so you have to take a step back and say, what is my dream lifestyle? I always say when I work with business owners, what's your dream lifestyle? And then let's work backwards from there to create that dream lifestyle, whether like dream lifestyle is finances, the way that do you want to be traveling? Do you want to be in a facility? Do you want to be online, hybrid? Like, how do you see your life? And so for the most part, and I think even in today's day, is people are now doing that hybrid of doing the in-person because they still think it's important to have that human connection, but also growing an online presence because you can diversify what you offer, but sticking with the same niche, which is important, but not having to service all the time, and being able to have offerings that you can expand and reach more people. So the hybrid approach, I feel, is very depending on how many hours you want to do in person, and then expanding to an online presence is the direction to go. And now with AI, guys, it's so much easier if you have clarity.
Great. And we're going to talk a little bit more how people work with you in a moment. But yeah, I agree with the hybrid style. To be honest with you, live classes does not make me money. Live classes is what gets me exposure. It's the online that makes me money.
Mm-hmm. And to that point, use your in-person services as content. Get the content there and you can repurpose that to online because you are building your brand, and you can double dip. You can repurpose the in-person teaching classes and showcasing your brand, but that's for online too.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Lindsay, okay. So you went into tech, among other things, okay? Tech, fitness, what? You know what I mean? Amazing, amazing. So you created this app. Talk to us about it.
So the pickleball app or?
No, the AI app.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, which app? So AI Fit Pro Lab, and I have a couple other apps, and this one is evolving. Is a platform that think of it like a ChatGPT, and I'm talking about large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whichever LLMs you're using, all put into one that's trained specifically on the fitness industry. I wanted to help fitness professionals offload their thoughts and be able to implement without doing everything themselves, because we wear all of the hats. So there's a marketing director in there's a content creator, a program designer, a communications agent. So all of these are little what we call agents that help you think about employees that you can hire and train, and then they do the work. So it's a workspace for fitness professionals to be able to find clarity in what they want to do in the direction that they want to do. It then disperses to all of the employees that are in that workspace, and everyone's on the same page and everyone works together to be part of the team. This is for solo entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs that don't have a team but want to grow their business. And it's impossible to do that. And it's really hard to grow your business when you don't have the money to pay other people. You're servicing all the time. So when are you ever going to be able to come up with the creatives and marketing strategy and you can come up with a plan, but that plan is unrealistic for the amount of time that you actually have to give. And so this is structured. And when you do the clarity session, it takes into consideration your dream lifestyle and also how much time do you have to give outside of your service, and where are you now and where do you want to go? And so the team And because it's an AI, it has great memory. So it doesn't forget anything you tell it. And it thinks strategically and not emotionally. So it's just a great way for solo entrepreneurs to be able to grow their business without hiring help.
I love it. Oh my God. Thank you for doing what you do. And thank you for this. Thank
Of
you.
course. Of
Wow.
course.
And so, can you take us through a session when you are hired by a client? Okay. Do you have a one on one and then do you use your AI app in conjunction? How does that work?
Yep. So I start with a clarity session. So usually people come to me when they're at a stuck point where they feel like they want to grow, they might want to change what they're doing, who their niche is. They're stuck in a point where they can't grow. So we start with a free clarity session where I ask a bunch of questions. I actually record the session on Zoom. And then I have another application that I built, which is a clarity tool. And I work with the clarity tool. I actually upload all of the answers from that session that I have on Zoom. And then it writes me a whole report. It finds the gaps, the bottlenecks. It creates a whole plan. And then if they want to work with me, it's like a mentorship. We work together to go, get through that bottleneck. Or if they want to use the platform instead, they can use the platform instead and upload the document, the clarity document that we work through in the session, so that the AI, when you upload the document, the whole team already has context on what your bottlenecks are, has a whole brief on where you're going, where you're at. So that way, when you start using the platform, it already has context on where you need to go. So the clarity session is free. I love talking to people. I love solving problems. So it's a 20-minute session. Like I said, I send a report after, and whether they want to work with me one-on-one or they want to use the platform instead, they can choose to do that.
I want to talk now about balance. Now,
Mhm.
while you're educating other fitness professionals, are you still promoting your pickleball book? You're still training other clients? Are you still developing your AI app?
So that's a really good question. I'm not, because I was starting to get burnt out again, and I had to revisit my North Star, which is I have now shifted into helping fitness professionals grow their business. So I'm not working with clients anymore one on one. The pickleball book is still on Amazon. So we do sell the books on Amazon. And the app is now with another franchise for pickleball. So I do have these revenue streams from my past businesses as well. So those are kind of just coming in themselves, but I'm really focused on now being a mentor for business professionals and how to incorporate AI to build what I call your AI brain. And the AI brain is an extension of you, because AI, have you ever heard the term AI slop? Have you heard that term used?
I have not. No, no.
So part of the clarity tool that's free for everyone is find your AI slop score. And AI, if AI doesn't know who you are and isn't trained on your voice, then it produces slop, crap.
Yeah.
And you can tell when a post is written by AI and there's no human touch to it. We don't want that. No one wants to hear what the AI has to say. They want to hear what you have to say. And AI can help extract that from your brain, but you have to train it on your brain, and it has to come. It has to come from you. So that's what you get your slop score, and then you can work with me, and we can find clarity together.
I'm so glad that you're making AI a good thing. I
Yeah.
mean, especially because you had stated that you had severe ADD. I
Hmm.
mean, there's benefits to it. Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I've talked to a lot of other people who have ADD that have said the same thing. And I think that's the driver behind my passion with this, is because a lot of business owners, ADD is a gift. And a lot of business owners have ADD. They just need a little bit more structure. So, and it's a fine line because AI, if you don't understand how AI works or how to integrate AI into your space, it is chaos. It's more information. And it can, in the beginning, when I started using it, it actually caused a lot more anxiety for me. And
Mm.
that's when I realized, okay, I know this can be helpful, but I have to find the right frameworks and structure to use AI to extract the brilliance I knew I had in my mind, but I couldn't always articulate it. Sometimes I could articulate it, but I didn't know how to implement it. And so I really have been focusing on creating playbooks and frameworks to extract the knowledge out of your brain that we all have and make it so that you can actually execute the greatness that's in all of our minds. And I think and I know that we all deserve to live the life that we love. And I've just found that AI has helped me do that and has helped me get these thoughts and articulate the things in my brain that I want to share with other people. And that's why I love this, and I want people to understand AI, although it's scary. I get that. I know it can do a lot of good if you know how to use it.
I always say that we are the best people to serve those that we once were.
Yeah.
So, as far as clarity and messaging, wouldn't you also now promote to those who have ADD as well, as opposed to just fitness professionals?
Yeah, so I'm writing another book. I have the draft out. It's called AI Brain for fitness professionals. And I talk a lot about having ADD. And it's funny you bring that up because I once thought, okay, I can go outside of the fitness industry and talk about ADD, but my expertise is in fitness. And so I can't help everyone. So I'm very niche down to the fitness industry because I understand the operations and the mindset of people in fitness that have ADD as well. And so I am very still niche down into fitness entrepreneurs that have ADD, which I can argue that the majority of us do.
I always thought, hey, like, try to help a lot more people. I mean, those with ADD who are not fitness professionals, it's still niche, but it's
Yeah.
still wide though, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it seems like your mindset that you were not scared. You're like, I'm ready for the next thing. I'm ready for the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say to those fitness professionals who are scared, who are not ready?
Put yourself in an uncomfortable situation.
Mm.
And I'll tell you why. What I have been scared about, and when I got over it, it has opened me up into to this whole world that I'm now living in. Put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. I did not want to host a podcast. I did not want to be on stage giving presentations. I did not want to be in front of the camera. I was afraid to speak my mind. And when I started saying yes to that and putting myself in that uncomfortable situation, opportunities were coming to me. So if you're scared, good. That's a good sign. Follow that fear. Follow it. Because if you can follow that fear, that's the identification you need to keep moving and keep growing. So if you're not scared, you're not going to grow.
Yeah.
Scared, it's a good feeling to have because that's the opportunity right there.
A lot of trainers and instructors, they stay small, right? Because they only identify themselves as performers or trainers,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Instead of business owners, okay? So, what could they do? Like, what did you do different than those people who are still staying small? Like, how did you know? Is it
I
how
didn't know.
you didn't know?
I learned out loud. And it comes back to the imposter phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
You just nobody knows what they're doing. No one knows what you learn. And that's how everyone who's successful got to where they are. They learned in public. And that's another thing that I do is I'm not an expert in everything, but I'm going to learn and I'm going to share my knowledge and I'm not going to hold it in because I don't feel like I'm ready. And so you have to still there's this feeling that I have, and I know people feel this way, there's that feeling that you were meant for more. If you have that feeling that you were meant for more, and it's okay if you want to stay in your lane and you just want to be a fitness instructor, if that's what makes you happy, that's amazing. But if you feel like you want to go beyond that and you want to grow, if you've got that feeling inside, follow it and put yourself out there, do things that scare you, network with people, meet people. And that's the first step.
But I feel how you're different is because you're always curious.
Curious, yes.
Yeah.
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 That's definitely an innate thing. I was always curious as a kid. I was always asking questions.
Yeah.
My maiden name is Korak. They used to call me Curious Korak because I'd always ask a lot of questions. And yeah, I mean, that's to your point. Absolutely. You have to stay curious and
Yeah.
ask questions.
So I know AI right now is still a new and it's a current trend. And you say you like to stay on beat and like ahead. What else do you think the fitness industry or fitness professionals should be looking out for?
So let me just say that AI is changing fast, and don't let that scare you, because every week there's a new tool, there's a new partnership, and there are always going to be things that are going to keep improving. AI is the worst it will ever be right now. It's only going to get better. So understand that the foundation of communicating with AI, understanding how AI works and how it works for you is the most important thing that you need to know. Don't feel like you have to keep up with AI. That being said, I think the future of AI and fitness is going to be beautiful. There's going to be a lot of gaps filled between the fitness professional and the medical professional. There's going to be more ways to connect with your clients in between sessions. So there's going to be more opportunity to have more touch points without you doing the work. And there are going to be ways that you can grow your business and make more money without having to spend more time. So for advice, I would look at where in your business right now is causing you the most or is creating the most time for you. Where is that bottleneck that is you're spending the most time outside of service, of course, but look at that and then start there and figure out, is this something that I could make more efficient with AI? And I would start there, because if you look at keeping up with AI, it's going to be very overwhelming. So you always have to focus on how can it work for you.
Love it. I always love to leave our listeners with an action steps, something they can take and do on their own. So I want to go through what you have done and another way to make it not so scary for them. So for example, your training. Can you teach our listeners what's another way besides just training that'll increase their income, but within the training industry? What could they do?
Well, they could think about bolt-on services, so nutrition.
Okay. Oh.
You can look at, again, doing a little bit more online. So offering a little bit more coaching online, whether that's programming or doing groups. Groups are a great thing to do online. So there's going to be more of a shift. And I know there's a shift right now with more of the behavior coaching. So, you can work out with someone in person, but the behavior change is such an important piece that can be a bolt-on service. So that's actually something that I did do, is I was training in person, but I also had one time a month group calls to do a reflection session. So we would get together as a group and we would do what I call the 4 R's. We would do reflect, we would reflect on the month. They would all write it down. We would revise the things that were not working. We would repeat the things that were working well, and then we would set another goal to get the results we wanted. So doing group calls and doing accountability sessions, whether that's weekly, biweekly, once a month, you could do it in groups. You could do it as an upsell. If you train a client once or twice a week, maybe you do a 20 to 30-minute phone call once a week as an accountability upsell. But I would definitely say try to do some accountability sessions because they need you beyond the floor.
That's great. That creates more connection.
Oh, yeah,
That helps you retain too,
absolutely.
because they feel nurtured and seen.
Yep.
Amazing. And another thing with training, we should let our listeners know that maybe niche down a bit.
Yes.
Be more unique than the
Hmm.
traditional trainer
Yep.
or instructor.
Yeah. And if you want an action step for that,
Yeah.
open up ChatGPT or whatever AI system you use and just start having a conversation with it and say, these are the types of people I train. I'm looking to niche down or see if I need to niche down. Here's the key right here. Ask me clarifying questions until you feel like you understand my niche. That's the only thing you ever have to do on an AI is say, ask me questions. You can open it up and say, I want to grow my business. Ask me questions. And it will start just one by one asking you questions. And you'll go through a whole thinking session. And at the end of it, you might have these brilliant ideas that just click for you. So that's my challenge for you is open up an AI, start having a brain dump and a clarity session, ask it whatever you want, ask it to ask you clarifying questions and see what happens.
Love that. Thank you for that. The next thing I want to talk about is a book. Some people are going to be like, I'm not a writer. Who do I go to edit this? Oh, blah, blah, blah. What's an easier way than writing a book?
Then writing a book.
Yeah.
I actually think writing a book is a great idea
Okay.
because of the resources that we now have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, using AI to write a book, there's definitely ways of doing it. You don't want AI to write the book for you, but it could be a co-author with you. That's how I'm writing my second book right now, The AI Brain. But outside of that, you got to find out what are you good at? If you're a creative person, maybe you create sellable PDF files or nutrition recipe books. Find out what you're good at or what you like and go with that. And so there are so many because we're in such a technical and online world, people buy PDFs, PDF guides, especially the people that trust you.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny, a lot of people don't want to ask for more money. And don't think of it that way. You're providing more value to the marketplace.
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid to offer it. Create a PDF or a recipe book and sell it.
Yeah. An ebook. Easy.
Yes. Of course.
Yeah. I love it.
No one really publishes, and let me just say, publishing a book on Amazon is very easy. You can get a hardcover book made and you don't have to pay for anything. If someone purchases the book, it's a revenue split with Amazon. They ship it to the customer and it's easy now to publish a book.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to make money now.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember I used to have VHS and a DVD of my instructional videos, and I used to sell on Amazon. You needed the IBSN, what a code, and the UPC code. You needed all that. Yeah, you don't need it anymore. I mean, because we're not selling shit in Barnes and Nobles.
Right, exactly.
Right? Okay.
Exactly.
I love it. Now let's talk about mentorship. Let's think.
Okay.
What could be an action step for them? Something easy they can just get into.
Or give me that's a loaded question.
It is. You're right.
Give me a direction.
How could they start diving into mentorship? What's an easy way to get your feet wet?
To be a mentor?
Yeah.
Mentor a friend, mentor someone that you're close with.
Okay.
Come up with a framework because we all have frameworks. We all have ways that we do things and it's just not written down. So I like to reflect back and say, how did I get that person from A to B, from A to Z? And then you write out that workflow, and that workflow right there, that's your mentorship program right there.
And use Lindsay's app. Okay, can you just give us the website? And we're also going to put it in the show notes as well. Go ahead.
So I'd love for them to actually try the slop score, which will send them eventually to the lab. I think it's aifitpro.io/ oh my gosh, I should know this. Go look in the show notes.
We'll look at okay, no problem. And you have
Follow me on social media.
Yes, and give me your social media tags.
Yep. So it's at Lindsay Passamani. So LindsayPassamonte. That's my
Great.
Instagram handle.
Great.
And reach out. Say hi.
Are you on Facebook as well, or just
Yes.
Instagram?
Yep.
Okay.
And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yep.
So all that will be in the show notes. And this has been amazing. So, you have a free version of your app as well as a paid version.
Yes.
Can you tell us the difference?
It's how many tokens you use. So when you communicate with AI, it costs tokens. And so I allow 25 free messages so you can actually sample what it's like, and you'll actually get to see the value before you decide. And it's only $29 a month.
Great. That's it.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yep.
And guys, this is tailored to the fitness professional. Hello. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta go try it out.
Yep.
Lindsay, thank you so much. You are a plethora of knowledge, and thank you so much for this app and what you do for the industry. Really, really appreciate it. Her app is great, by the way. I'm on it. And I would love for you to take us out with our signature outro.
All right, folks, until next episode, go and kick some butt.
Yeah, I love that. Even better. Thank you, Lindsay.